This is the Paranormal Report. This is the Paranormal Report. I'm Jim.
I'm Dar.
People are saying,
staying warm.
Stay warm and staying spooky. Man, this weather. Wow, this reminds me of when I was a kid. The winters when we were kids. It's crazy.
We haven't had a winter this. Well, they had said our news forecasters here said the last time it's been that we had a stretch this cold was in 2015.
Yeah.
He said this is kind of mimicking the 2014, 2015 winter.
And you said it's not going to warm up here at least until the third week of February?
He says we're in this like horrible pattern so that, yes, we will finally get out of the single digits and teens starting Monday. We might get into the 20s, but he's not seeing any like closer to average, which closer to average temperature should be about 37 is what he said. Yeah. We are at what? We're at 1 degree right now. We're at 11 right now. We were at 1 when I woke up this morning. Yeah, wind chills below zero. Absolutely brutal out there. Yeah. Plus we got so much snow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We had to tell everybody about the squall warning we had yesterday, Jim, that frightened us.
Well, we should save some of this for behind the scenes, but it was like, it actually sounded like an Amber Alert. It was like,
the phones went off.
I was actually taking a little nap after campfire, and it woke me up, and so there went the nap. But it was like crazy. It's like we've had like below zero, a foot of snow, and nothing, and then a little wind goes through. It's like,
oh, yeah. It was really, I guess it caught a lot of people off guard, though it did. And people were on the roads driving, and it was a nightmare, apparently, really bad. Because it did come heavy and fast. But
yeah. We'll talk about more on behind the scenes, which is part of our Plus Club, among other things. JimHarold.com/plus, JimHarold.com/plus. If you are not a member, we hope that you will join us over there. So, Dar, eyes to the skies. First story this week, a Dorito-shaped aircraft. Now, I am a big fan of Doritos, as you know. Personally, I'm more of Cool Ranch. Are you Cool Ranch or are you Nacho Cheese?
No, I'm Nacho Cheese. I'm a traditionalist. I know you like the Cool Ranch for sure.
Yeah.
This story apparently was in mainstream. I guess people were making fun of it.
This is from themirror.co.uk. And they said that basically an explorer snapped an eerie image of a mysterious UFO flying over the top secret Area 51 military base. Anders Ottesen spotted an unidentified aircraft flying above the military site at 3 a.m. in the morning. He said it had an equilateral triangle shape. And researchers have called it the Dorito. And there have been other Doritos in the past that have been reported. This videographer runs the channel Uncanny Expeditions, interesting, and said the UFO did not appear to have wings or flatter tailing edges. He said, "Are we looking at a classified test flight or a run-of-the-mill training sortie? I certainly think we have something interesting here." I saw a video, I think it's the same one. That is totally an airplane.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. It is. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, okay? Never mind.
Well, didn't they just say it wasn't making noise, though, or something? I thought I read that it wasn't making noise.
Well, if it's up high enough, you're not going to hear it. And it looked like it had contrails behind it. I mean, it's over Area 51, so there might be, because it didn't have traditional wings or things that have more of like a delta shape. I mean, you think about the B-2 and all these different things. Something now interesting. Ottesen said during this bizarre sighting, there was a chance it could have been a bomber plane. And there were these odd phrasers that UFO researcher Georg Arnu alleged that it sounds like it was radio frequencies around Area 51. Alleged they heard phrases like, quote, imperial with garlic, unquote, quote, pretzel snack, unquote, and, quote, fridge hydrate, unquote, being passed about in the exchange. Maybe they were just hungry. Maybe they were just
gearing
hungry.
up for the Super Bowl, maybe. I don't know.
But the
I hope
point
they have a good
is
Super
that,
Bowl commercial this year.
And we'll talk about this later. UFO sightings around military installations are definitely a thing. But come on. If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's not a Dorito. it's a military airplane.
Chomp,
I think
chomp.
I think that's a lot of. But all it's done for me is made me hungry. I want like it was big.
We don't have
huge
any
bags,
of those. Yeah.
huge bags.
Maybe I'll get
of
you one
Cool
for the
Ranch
Super
Doritos.
Bowl. You could
Oh,
have a bag for the Super Bowl.
those and the 5-layer, 7-layer dip. I love that.
You like the dip,
it's-
the Fiesta dip we make. I haven't made it in a while, but
Yeah.
the 7-layer dip. Oh, that sounds good.
That's some good
It is
stuff.
better when
That's
I
some
make
good
it than when we buy it pre-made. But it's so much easier. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, be that as it may, there's news, breaking news. I don't have my breaking news sounder here. I don't know where it went to.
Where'd it go?
Well, do I have it?
It's
I don't know
gone.
if Is this it? Hold on. Yes, there's more breaking news with the Conjuring House.
Well, here I thought I found the story yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's news. There's news on the Conjuring House. Here we go. Now there were 4 courts involved in 2 different states, and it was like, whoa. There's even more news today, believe it or not. So I've kind of like set that story aside because today it just came out that here's the quote. It's from the Providence Journal. Does Jason Hawes have all he needs to buy the Conjuring House? So the sister of the owner has dropped her bid for a preliminary injunction blocking the sale of the Burville house to Ghost Hunters star Jason Hawes. That means nothing bars him from closing on the transaction as early this week.
Interesting.
She said she's not pursuing the interim step of a preliminary injunction. She was, but they canceled it. So, but here's the deal. Okay, so she's not pursuing the interim step of a preliminary injunction. Her case in Providence Superior Court to permanently block the sale is still active. So that they're saying it can make it very risky for Hawes to close, knowing that the court could undo the sale down the line.
Interesting.
Okay. And the next hearing in the case isn't until April 29th. So this is quite some time.
Yeah, this thing has been going on and on and on.
Yeah, and Hawes said he's not going to close on that on the transaction this week. And she had it the injunction scheduled for yesterday, but she canceled it. And but here was what the article yesterday was talking about. There's another lawsuit. Now Elton Castee has a case and it's still active. And so okay, I'm just going to read this because it's so confusing. It really is. I'm sure we have a great virtual campfire member, Elizabeth, who's, I believe, an attorney. She would be able to do this in 2 seconds. I can't. But anyway, it says, in a related Superior Court case, YouTuber Elton Castee, through his company, Summit and Stone, is seeking to force Nunez's company, Balefire, through which she owns the house, into receivership, a state form of bankruptcy, which would result in the house being auctioned. Anyway, though, meanwhile, while all this is going on, this was like one of the big chunks of the article. Yesterday, Nunez's sister, her last name, what's it, Greenhall or something? She, and it was for this morning at 8:45, there was a hearing in Boston because she is trying to be appointed as a guardian and conservator of Nunez. And they went into this whole thing in the article yesterday. I'm going to post both articles in our show notes, but went into this whole thing as she is really not acting well. Some of the things that she is posting and saying and doing, it may lead to questions of her mental abilities and capabilities. Her sister, I think, wants her tested. It's a very bad, sticky situation.
It's a big mess. It's a big mess.
It is a very big mess. So that's where we're at right now. So apparently he could close, Hawes can close on it, but then it might just be taken away. So I don't know what. I did check his GoFundMe. He's still at $324,000. He's not at his $500,000 he wants. I don't know. It's a mess. It's a complete
mess. It will
mess,
remain to be seen, but we will have the details here. Yes,
we will.
I love this next story that you picked out. And it's from one of our favorite people. Even though we can't get him back on the show, we're going to keep trying. Dr. Avi Loeb.
But it's not
And-
about what? It's not about.
Yeah, it's not Three Eye Atlas, folks.
No,
Not about-
no.
The title is An Experimental
one's
Test
scary.
for the Existence of the Human Soul. So Dr. Loeb was on another program, another podcast called The Raising Cain Show with the, as he quotes, the brilliant Nate Cain. I don't doubt that he's brilliant. But actually, Cain had a very good question. He asked Dr. Loeb if humans have a soul, given their sense of free will, consciousness, and out-of-body experiences. And Loeb basically replied, not so much as to an opinion on the matter, but say, I'm a scientist, let's test it. And he believes that eventually it may be possible to test with AI. One of the most interesting things I found in this whole piece here is that, the human brain is so complex. And the closest supercomputer that somehow kind of sort of mimics the human brain, it's still way short. It's called Intel's Holopoint. It contains 1.1 billion artificial neurons and 128 billion artificial synapses, or equivalently 1% of the number of biological neurons and 0.01% of the number of connections in the human brain. So the best that we currently have is so much short of the human brain. However,
Good. No.
however,
I know. Go
yeah.
ahead.
In Australia, they are working on they call the Deep South neuromorphic supercomputer, and it's designed to simulate a network of 100 billion artificial neurons comparable in size to the human brain with 228 trillion synaptic operations per second. And at that point, Dr. Loeb says we would be able possibly to test this AI supercomputer brain and see if it has out-of-body experiences and see if it has consciousness and all of these things, kind of like a modern-day Turing test. And if so, I guess that would prove that it's not something unique to humans and we don't have a soul. But if it can't, maybe it is at least evidence that we do have a soul. Fascinating way of thinking. Always good stuff from Dr. Avi Loeb. You can check it out at avi-loeb, loeb.medium.com. What do you think?
Okay, so I put a poll question in the virtual campfire group yesterday about
virtualcampfiregroup.com, virtualcampfiregroup.com. It's free. Go there.
I put a poll question wanting to know if people were afraid, if like the governments come out and say, yep, there have been alien visits, it's confirmed. Would you be afraid? Would you just want to talk? Would you be afraid? Would you be like, nah, I don't care. I still have bills. You know, what's your feeling on this, right? It scares me a little, maybe. I just put, yeah, finally, let's talk, because there's disclosure. Right. I'd be happy to say, haha, finally, you're going to admit it. However, want to know what scares me more? This AI stuff trying to mimic our brains. I am terrified of this. I don't know why more people are not terrified of this. I just feel like it's just, they're going to take over. Like we're like making the human race like almost non-existent. What do they need us for?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, redundant. Okay, we got aliens from other like, I almost said countries, from other galaxies, places in the universe. We've got people. Okay, fine. They're coming. Who cares? We're going to have a bunch of robots walking around. We won't be here.
I mean, a lot of people have speculated. A lot of people are saying that maybe the aliens that are visiting us are actually alien AI, right? Because if there's so much ahead of us, they have. And years ago, and unfortunately the researcher has since passed, but I interviewed a gentleman by the name of Dr. Nigel Kerner a few times, and he felt that aliens were some kind of almost like robots that were coming here to steal our souls because they did not have souls. So it all kind of ties together in an odd sort of way.
Souls, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean,
you hear that gigantic sucking sound? That is the alien sucking out your soul.
Yikes. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I want to believe we have souls. Yes, I got it. I want to believe we have souls. I don't know. I don't.
Oh, I definitely believe we have souls.
I don't like this. Don't try to mimic our brains. Oh, I hope they can't do it. No.
Well, they're trying.
I'm just
really
terrified
hard.
of what's coming down the pike. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it won't happen in my lifetime, which would be great. We had we've said this before, a local personality would always say, I'm glad I'm on the back nine.
Yes.
So cheers to that. I am glad.
The late Mike Trevisano here in Cleveland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful broadcaster. But
yeah, I didn't agree with all of his viewpoints, but he was
he was engaging and entertaining.
Yeah. And he was very successful for over 20 years. He kind of ruled afternoon drive in Cleveland, which is, a considerable size market. So pretty impressive stuff. So here, we always like to talk about ancient mysteries, and you have some recent findings about one of the most interesting archaeological sites in the world.
Yes, Stonehenge. So Live Science is reporting that people, not glaciers, transported the rocks to Stonehenge. So that's been a contention for a long time, right? Of people saying, no, it was glacial transport theory that did it and blah, blah, blah. But they're saying, no, it was people. They've done some analysis of mineral grains from rivers around Stonehenge and revealed that glaciers didn't reach that region during the last ice age. So it contradicts that glacial transport theory completely. And they're just, they feel that it suggests that people deliberately selected and transported the stones, including the altar stone. So, they did all of this analysis on these microscopic mineral grains, and they felt confident enough. They believed the analysis proved that people actually brought this. I wonder how. I don't think they still know how it happened.
It's funny because we were talking about this morning, unrelated. We heard someone somewhere speculating about, they had electricity in the in the pyramids or something. And I kind of chuckled. I didn't know about that. But I do believe that these ancient peoples had knowledge in engineering and different things that we somehow have lost. I mean, I think it's Göbekli Tepe, excuse me. And they have like tolerances of stone cut that you would need like some high-end engineering equipment that we've only recently developed to do that. And this was thousands of years ago. I believe that's in Turkey. So Göbekli Tepe. Try to say that 3 times fast.
No, thanks.
But anyway, by the way, just a little tech note. You're getting a little pee popping today. Just wanted to let you know. I'm trying to mansplain.
So I will back off the. I'll back off the mic.
Yeah, but no, you don't have to back off.
I talk loud.
Well, I do too sometimes. I have my mic here, and I stopped running a pop filter, and then occasionally I'll pop a pee, and I'll be like, ah. But anyway, back to Stonehenge. I do believe these ancient peoples had access to something that we no longer have access to. Now, could they make stones levitate, or was it aliens? Going back to the late Eric von Däniken. I don't know, but I do believe they had techniques and they knew how to do some things. Now, a very interesting example, and I think you probably heard me reference this before, that's more modern day, that was, I think, in the 30s and 40s, I'm not sure exact years, Coral Castle in Florida. Are you familiar with this?
I've heard you mention it. Yeah.
This guy moved these huge pieces of coral, and nobody knows how he did it. And he was like kind of a small guy. I think it was like in the 40s. I gotta look it up. And they think that he did it because he had a love interest that he lost and dedicated it to her. And this guy did it all by himself. And there were people talking about maybe seeing levers. And was it Archimedes who said, if you give me a lever big enough, I can move the world? I forget who said that. But Coral Castle. Well, isn't that true? Didn't
I don't know, Jim. My brain is a sieve. It's like a colander. All the information that used to be held up here is gone. It's all getting filtered through.
Okay.
I know nothing.
Boy. God.
I'm watching Shrinking. That's what I'm doing.
I went to Cleveland Public Schools. Who knew it? But it was Archimedes. There you go. Anyway, here it is. This was Coral Castle was created by the Latvian-American eccentric Edward Leedskalnin, who passed in 1951. It comprises numerous large stones, each weighing several tons, sculpted into a variety of shapes, including slab walls. This is from Wikipedia. Tables, chairs, a crescent moon, and a water fountain and sundial. Yeah. And they're saying here that photographs and eyewitness accounts evidence they used pulleys and other simple tools. Yeah. But Wikipedia is like anything that is anomalous, they immediately explain it away, so I don't put a lot of stock into them when you talk about something anomalous, because they automatically, it's swamp gas. That's everything swamp gas.
Well, that's why I think schools don't even let you use that as a resource, as a source.
Right.
When you're...
Well, no, I mean, it's very skeptical and it's viewpoint. But anyhow, the point being that I believe that there are engineering techniques that these ancient peoples had that we don't have anymore.
All I know is Stonehenge was extremely impressive. I wish I would have enjoyed our time there more when we went to go see it. I think we were exhausted by that point, and the travel to get there was...
I tell you, I looked at some pictures of me. I did not look good. I looked like unwell.
Yeah.
I don't know if something happened to me I'm not joking.
It was probably the
sick.
marathon run that we had to do through the airport to catch the flight.
JFK,
we almost missed it.
Yeah.
I believe that did it to you because it was.
Yeah.
We were
I wonder if I had like a heart episode or something. I really do because I did not look. I looked
My
physically
uncle said
unwell.
that too.
Yeah.
You did look physically unwell. So who knows what happened? If we ever get to go back, hopefully that's not going to happen again.
I won't be running through JFK. They can take off without me.
They could take the flight. Yeah.
Yeah.
They could work on getting us a new one. They're the problem.
Because, they were supposed to hold the plane because the plane was late, which was not our fault.
But the connecting flight was extremely late for no good reason, mind you. This was summer. There was no thunder. There were no thunderstorms. Nothing was going on. No, they just felt like being late. So
anyway, we talked
along
about that Dorito, but this is a more substantive article, dailymail.co.uk, that I think really does hit to something that is true. That America's nuclear sites have been secretly invaded by thousands of UFOs. Now, that's a little dramatic. I don't know if they've been invaded, but there has been a large correlation between nukes and sites. And I'm trying to remember the name. Robert Salas was the gentleman at Malmstrom Air Force Base. He was in the Air Force and talked about his experience in 1967. He was on the Paranormal podcast, where literally they saw UFOs and ICBMs went offline and they could not control them. Then we had Robert Jacobs, our Dr. Bob Jacobs, who was my professor in undergrad, and I heard this story before podcasting ever existed in the early 90s, where he was doing a film test. He was running a film crew, doing a filming of a missile test. And basically, that film showed the missile being disintegrated by not us. And look that up, Dr. Bob Jacobs, amazing story. Look it up on YouTube. He had some fun on Larry King Live, if you remember that show, with Bill Nye, the Science Guy. Look that up, Dr. Bob Jacobs. It was fantastic. Love Dr. Jacobs. And then the gentleman who wrote the book, and I can see his face, and I can't remember, it was basically UFOs and nukes. Robert Hastings, that's him, Robert Hastings. So I believe in this. I totally believe it's true. Now, does that mean that every craft that's over a military site or a UFO site is alien or something? No. But is it possible some of them are? Very much so. Crowdsourced platform Enigma revealed to the Daily Mail that there have been over 2,800 unidentified aerial sightings over 90 U.S. nuclear plants or nuclear weapons facilities over the last 8 decades. The new report detailed sightings of objects often described as glowing orbs, disks, spheres, cylinders, or triangles hovering or flying in precise patterns within 25 miles of these nuclear sites. They talked about, for example, April 2025, an glowing orange ball changing shape flying over Bear, Delaware, located near the Salem nuclear power plant. and the Hope Creek Nuclear Generating Station in New Jersey. More than 70 of these reports specifically referenced UFOs with metallic or reflective surfaces flying over bases in broad daylight during the early dawn hours. Now, I do think that some of these, because they're over military bases, are military, right?
I agree.
And then I think some of them are just people being mistaken. But particularly like nuclear weapon, like Area 51, you would expect aircraft to be flying over it, experimental aircraft. But nuclear missile sites or nuclear power plants, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So something's going on. Something's going on in the skies, definitely. Now, this next story, this is scary. This is
very scary.
It's one thing to say, well, I saw a ghost in my house. But this is a totally different thing, right?
Yeah. So unexplained-mysteries.com is reporting an Indian family believes their house has been cursed because it has caught fire 15 times in 1 week.
Wow.
Can you believe that? These poor people. It's so sick. Can you believe this? So spontaneous fires. So the family feels that perhaps this is happening after a sage visited the house. So there was it's a family from Kachari village in the Indian state of Bihar, and I apologize if I'm butchering that, who had been forced out of their home by a spate of mysterious fires. They feel like it started after this sadhu, or this holy man, visited the house. He had asked for bread. He wanted some bread while he was there. But when he learned they didn't have any and was offered rice and water instead, he became angry and cursed the building, stating as he left that it would catch fire. A few days later, sure enough, a fire broke out, then another and another, and they would come out of nowhere. And sometimes they'd start out of a pile of clothes. Sometimes it was bedding. Sometimes the food was catching on fire. They have no electricity connection to the home. So they don't know how these fires were getting started. And it got so bad that the family ended up having to leave. And they've been living with their belongings on a roadside, which they're so scared they don't want to go back to that house. People, lots of speculation as usual. Go ahead, Jim. People are saying. Yeah. Many locals are blaming black magic. Others say the fires were started deliberately. There's a local community leader, and he's calling for a proper investigation to be carried out to find out what's going on. But right now, there's no explanation for what's going on. 15 times.
Yeah. Well, you know what's really interesting, because I was remembering this, and I just looked it up as you were talking. In 2020, we had Reha from Delhi, India, talk about a cursed home over there. Her family had. Yeah. Yeah.
It was on Campfire?
It was on Campfire. Different story, different house. But it was
right.
I believe it was the first story on that episode 447. And it was
club
really,
members.
yeah, it was a very compelling story. And a collection of incidents that happened in the family's home from 2004 to 2006. And it was their dream home, and everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. Yeah, I felt badly for Reha when we talked to her. So yeah, Plus Club members, jimharold.com/plus. Episode 447 is similar sounding kind of case from a similar part of the world.
Can't never say never. You don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, people say there's superstitions or there's whatever. I mean, every culture seems to have one. The Italians have the Maloik, the evil eye. I remember growing up and seeing, my aunt and some other relatives trying to do the salt with the needle and try to get the curse off of you. And, evil eye now jewelry is real popular everywhere and stuff. And you have your protective amulets and whatnot. So, there's a lot of cultures that do believe in curses like that. And who am I to say yes or no? So, what I mean? Yikes. All I know is I think that's terrifying, and it's sad losing even little you have, so.
Oh yes. That is a very sad thing indeed. And
there you go.
since we're kind of looking at things internationally here, we have a story, and it kind of is a follow-up, because didn't we have a story last week about Nacho Cheese?
We
Chase
did,
in
and I think it was
Staffordshire?
the same gentleman too, I think.
Yeah.
Lee.
Well, the thing about this is, I think someone in our virtual campfire said they're from that area. Was it
Yes.
Dave? Was it Dave?
I think
Am
it's
remembering
Dave says
correctly?
he's
I think
nearby. So hey,
Yeah,
Dave.
so here's another one for you.
You better go with it. Well, I don't know. Should you not go there? Maybe?
Because you might run into
this was scary.
a black-eyed ghost child.
And I don't
apparently
know. I read
it's
this article and I got scared.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
This eerie figure, and this is from birminghammail.co.uk. This eerie figure has been seen by numerous people in the area, with some describing it as a black-eyed ghost child that giggles and moves unnaturally. Interesting enough, I have heard other people talk about seeing ghosts and things, and they've had like a herky-jerky motion, which is kind of a weird thing. But that the great Christmas story we had on Campfire, mirror image, what a mirror image we are. That one, herky-jerky movements. It's a weird thing with these kind of spooky things. This is Lee Brickley. He is an author and self-described seasoned paranormal investigator, and has collected experiences in third-party accounts for decades. And he actually saw this girl at one point. She appeared about 100 meters in front of me. She stared right at me for about 30 seconds and vanished without a trace. There's other stories in here. One went back to the pandemic. Two teenagers, Kylie and Ben, were both 17, were camping in Birches Valley. They heard rustling and followed by the sound of a child's giggle. Upon leaving the tent, well, they saw something amongst the trees, and Kylie said, I knew instantly that we were dealing with the real thing because it moved in ways humans simply can't move. Ben put his light towards a figure and reported that the giggling grew louder, appearing to echo from all directions. And there's more here. YouTube channel Furious Otter posted a video containing drone footage over the forest in which they claim to have filmed the black-eyed girl on camera. So check out that article at birminghammail.co.uk to find out more. And the black eyes, that reminds me of the black-eyed kids, right? I mean, I do think there are beings on this week's Campfire. I don't want to spoil it, but there is a story from the Philippines. I think it's the second story on the show. And the woman talks about her dad and an experience he had with little beings. And he was a skeptic, and maybe not so much of a skeptic anymore. So I do think that these different kind of beings do exist. Now, what they are, I don't know what they are. But interesting stuff. I would not want to run into that black-eyed ghost child. Not in the least.
No, thank you. So, hey, Jim, we've got this is a big year for us together.
Yeah, 30-year wedding anniversary coming up in May.
30 years, not totally together. It's actually, 32 together.
Yeah, but
that's
I'm
at the
talking
end of
about
February.
married.
But no, our wedding, I was talking about our wedding anniversary, and we're desperately wanting to take a trip to kind of commemorate it and don't know where to go. Trying to figure that one out. We think it should be something big. You guys let us know if you had a big milestone anniversary. Where'd you go?
Where would you go?
We kicked around a few places. I know everybody might say Hawaii. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Give us some.
We'll see.
I know. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But this is tied into the next story. So what is astrocartography? And here's why your next trip may be written in stars.
I was going to say, if you fall down and never mind.
Ba-dum-bum. There you go. You're late. You're late, Mr. Harold. So it's from yahoo.com. I think, yeah, there you go. It's originally from, I think it was Popular Mechanics that is reporting. So like I said, travelers have relied on guidebooks and word of mouth to decide where to go. Maybe we need to do this astrocartography, right?
There you go.
It's a niche branch of astrology that maps planetary positions on the globe based on a person's birth chart. So, and it's shaping how people are choosing their destinations, like from weekend getaways to life-changing relocations. And it suggests that certain places amplify specific energies. Venus lines for love, Jupiter for growth and opportunity, Saturn for discipline and challenge. Once confined to astrology, astrocartography has entered the mainstream. I kind of laugh because this article, they're like, why is it on the rise? According to Royal Caribbean.
Yes.
Come on. All right. So they said it surged by 53% in popularity in the last year. And a growing number of people are using it to decide what to do and where to go. Yeah. So I just felt it was interesting. I'll put the article up. I mean, hey, I would love to have an astrology chart and see what they're saying. I think that would be cool. Maybe it'd tell us where we should go. You know, I don't know. I think that's fun. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting based on your zodiac signs and your birth chart, where you're going to go. So
yeah,
there you have it.
And the snowplow decided to come while we're recording. So if you hear a snowplow in the background,
can't get out of the driveway.
You know
practically, you can't get out of the driveway. It's
I'm just afraid they're going to knock down our. We don't have it. I do the driveway, but we have the road in front of us. And they've not done the road in front of us.
How many times did you do the driveway, Jim?
Yeah, we'll talk about it behind the scenes, but that's all I've been doing. Well, this next story actually involves a former guest. Laura Ketledge. This story talks about when she was just 19 years old, and she was involved in a horse riding accident and had a profound near-death experience. This is from express.co.uk. And Laura goes on to tell, she was 19 years old. She felt invincible. She rode horses, but she chose that one that day, I believe, to kind of keep up with everybody, one that was a little beyond her capability. She got thrown, and she said after it happened, she felt like she was around 15 feet behind the horse in her vision, watching like a spectator. She said it was very shocking, but it also felt natural. And when it was over, and then the horse crushed me. I was very badly hurt, but I was able to get up and hop on one leg, call my parents, and go to the hospital. And she talks about because she actually saw her grandfather, who had passed several years earlier, and she adored him. And she said he looked like he looked when he was well, because apparently he'd gotten sick with cancer, but she saw him when he was kind of in the prime of life. She also talked a little bit about the life review, when you're shown things that you do, good things and maybe things that you could have done better. And, some things, were very positive and she felt good about those. And other ones she felt badly because maybe she had not treated somebody quite as well as she could have treated them. And she recognized it was death. She said, I recognized this was it and I didn't have any control. I felt like me. I felt like there were hands, legs ahead. I wasn't in pain. I don't believe I recognized breathing at all, but I was still me and I was going down this tunnel and the sides were very soft and dense at the same time. And she felt that she was going very, very fast.
Wow.
And she goes on and talks about it. And then she said when she came back into her body, it was like recorking a bottle. And that's where she felt the pain. And I spoke to her, I believe, back in 2019 for the Plus Club for the other side. So it seems like every other story this week is something we've done a show on. I guess that happens after.
I must have had mind meld with it.
After 20 years, that kind of happens, right? So, and in fact, I'm not even sure. I thought we had Lee Brickley on the shows at one point. I couldn't find it, so I may be wrong on that. But I thought from Kenneth Chase.
Well, I just put him. I don't know if you noticed. I was writing something down. I put him on the list of someone to contact to see if we could get him on the shows because I think it would be interesting. Yeah.
So there you have it. Laura gave her experience. And I think those are so important because, we can talk about all this stuff theoretically, but these are the people who have experienced it. So I really appreciate when they come forward and explain what happened because it is the ultimate mystery. You have a bit of a mystery there, psychic medium.
Because you have no idea who do you know who this is? Okay, I'm going to put the name out.
I was like,
Luann de Lesseps. Do you know who that is? Most people may not know Luann de Lesseps.
I have no idea who
Real
Luann
Housewife
de
of New
Lesseps
York.
is. Okay, all right.
Real
I thought
Housewife
she
of
was
New
like some
York.
historic figure. It sounds very
No, yeah,
sounds very royal.
She's the Countess. Don't you know? She was the
Oh, there you
Countess. She was a Countess. Come on. You don't remember Money Can't Buy You Class? Don't you remember that song that was playing for a while?
No.
Way back.
I
You
don't.
ignored everything when that was on. You
I
hated
just,
that so much.
again, it goes back to the Andy Cohen
I know.
thing.
I know.
I feel those shows are like, okay, let's see these people fight. Let's see these people argue. Let's cause drama. And if they're not drama and they're getting along, let's pull them away from each other and talk nasty about them.
Why?
So they will. It's all like geared towards
Why?
the worst of human nature because that's what sells.
You got it. Exactly. That's why it all became so popular, because people wanted to see that cat fighting. Oh my God, that reminds me of the meme of the the one with the cat.
Yeah.
Now I forgot that Real Housewives name. Yeah. I watched that,
I love that
as it happened. That's Beverly Hills. Never mind.
Yeah.
That
My
was,
favorite is Evil Dog. You know that I love
yes,
Evil
you
Dog.
love Evil Dog memes. Yes. But anyway, Luann de Lesseps, apparently now her daughter is a psychic medium. Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
there you go.
Yeah, so you can call Victoria, apparently. She said she did rid her mom's house of a ghost once. She said when she was a young kid, she used to see some ghosts, and she saw some weird dark energy when she was like 6 or 7 years old. And then again in her teens. And she feels like she's coming by it naturally because her father's mother was a white witch who practiced radiesthesia, right? Radiesthesia. I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Do you know?
So.
Oh,
No.
I didn't either. But anyway, I should have looked it up. But anyway, I was more enthralled because she said her grandma was a white witch, and that's how she came to it. And she said it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and she started like having more things that were happening to her, and she was told she should go see a healer. And like she did, and then she started seeing like things were going on, and it wasn't her stuff. And she saw like this very tall spirit guide standing next to her. And so she was scared and freaked out, but then she felt like something encouraged her, and she didn't see this coming in her life, I guess. So her and her classmate actually were here, and they saw a ghost during a mediumship training at Luann's house. And they said the door didn't actually open, but a ghost did pop through. And the classmate was like, "Hey, there's a ghost in your house." And she's like, "Yeah, he's here." Yeah. She said the books were pushed, and she would push it back, and it was going back and forth. And sometimes it wasn't so nice to her. Yeah. So I guess now if you feel like it, you could contact Victoria, and she will help you get rid of ghosts and do some readings for you and whatnot.
There you go.
So
there you go.
There you go.
Well, I would never discount somebody's psychic ability. In fact, speaking of psychic ability, I'm interviewing Jody Levant coming up on the Paranormal Podcast very soon. Yeah, Jody's one of our favorites, and I do believe that psychic abilities are real. So good for her. Good for her. Very
No,
good.
same. No, I know. I just it's the celebrity psychic kind of gossip for the week. So
There you have it. There you have it. Well,
there you have it.
seemed like the show was a little shorter this week. I don't know. We have the same number
Yeah, I
of stories.
finally
We just
shut up.
we kind of plowed through it this week. We
I
plowed
did
through it.
finally shut up, and I tried to be more succint in my
And you'll
storytelling.
comment? Well, I don't know. I think people like when you what's the word I'm looking for?
Unleash.
Yeah.
Rant?
Unleash. Well, rant
Maybe
about this
yeah.
a little bit. We have here 2 years. 2 years on, it's been about 2 years. You've been doing a
Waiting
great
on my
job.
sweatshirt. Woo woo.
Yeah. There you've got your Valentine shirt. You really have to hurry
Yeah.
for that one if you're going to get that one. And the hoodie, the mug, and the other T-shirt with the other designs, a couple of those. And, you go on through and you see the traditional Stay Spooky logo there and This would work out. A beanie this time of year. That makes sense.
Remember Crystal was wearing one on last week's campfire. Thank you, Crystal, for buying one of those.
Thank you.
Yeah,
By the way,
wearing it during the show.
I call those toboggans. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I know.
Isn't that funny?
I
Some people call them a toque. Some people call them a toque.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah. I think a beanie is probably most common. Stay Spooky Cap. Stickers, of course, that sticker pack for all the different
they're like
shows
decals. I mean, I guess I do a disservice just saying they're stickers. I mean, because they are waterproof and they're pretty nice quality. They're pretty good quality. Just want to give a little notice out there. If you've ordered some things and haven't received them, they are delayed because of the weather. They're saying weather is affecting a lot of shipping. But, just if you're concerned or if you have any questions or problems, whatever, please just go ahead and message me on Etsy and I'll get right back to you and we'll see what we can work out.
Yeah.
See what I can find out for you too, that maybe normal tracking's not doing it. So
we have a lot of stuff there. Dar has done, this is all Dar. This is zero me. The only thing that's on it is my name. I mean, she has done it all. She has done a fantastic job. Kudos to you for all the hard work.
Thank you. Boy, people are sick of hearing that. But anyway.
Well, maybe it's the truth. I'm a truth teller. I
don't take compliments very well.
No, you don't. I don't agree with that.
I don't like the other
you
option
suck
either.
Yeah,
I don't like that either. Well, I don't. You know what? I don't like. I like constructive criticism. I like constructive criticism that can help me improve. I don't like just let's complain for the sake of complaining.
Yeah.
And I don't like laziness and that kind of thing. So
there you
always
go.
strive to be
That's
your best.
Sometimes when she
learn.
doesn't like me, that's why I'm lazy.
No.
So anyway, let's see what else. Of course,
from it.
virtualcampfiregroup.com, virtualcampfiregroup.com. Check it out. It's free. It's a great online community. We're having a great time over there. And if you're in there, start talking. Let's start, kind of.
Yeah, it's been really quiet.
It's been a little more quiet.
Quiet.
Yeah, let's get it going. Let's get it going a little more there.
We're getting good membership, but just nobody's really saying too
don't
much
be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. And then the other thing, of course, the Plus Club, because again, that gives you the whole back catalog, jimharold.com/plus, jimharold.com/plus. And we're really focusing on that ad-free experience now. The new editions of Campfire, the new episodes of Paranormal Podcast, no ads for Plus Club members. Plus, we're going back and we're really redoubling our efforts on getting the ads out of older shows with that Campfire Remastered and Paranormal Podcast Remastered series. So if you don't like ads in your podcasts, and again,
don't want to fast forward,
that's the way to do it. And we value our sponsors that we had for many, many years when we were doing Host Red, and we thank them because it wouldn't be possible to be to the point where we're at if we didn't have them. And, we have these automated ads now for the free shows with these big national brands. We try to filter out, stuff that we wouldn't want on the shows as much as we possibly can. But the point being, I'm not anti-advertising. But if you can watch or listen to a show without advertising, or you can listen to a show without advertising, why not? And support us at the same time. jimharold.com/plus. jimharold.com/plus.
Still have interview shows, and you have behind the scenes with us, and we have some other things coming. I know we always say that, but we really do have some other exclusive Plus Club only things coming.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
So should be good.
Yeah.
Well, looks like we did it for another week, the Paranormal Report. Any last words, Dar?
I was just going to say, I don't know if you wanted to also plug another couple live events in the Cleveland area.
Yes.
Because we did talk about that.
Yeah, February, we have 2 live events, both at different branches of the Cuyahoga County Public Library. If you give me a moment, I can actually give you some dates on them.
February 9th.
And the thing is that you have to register. They're free, but you have to register. You can go to jimharold.com/events, jimharold.com/events. The first one is Monday, February 9th, 7 p.m. at the Brook Park branch.
Not a lot of seats remaining for that one, so get in on that.
Yeah, but there's still room.
That.
Yeah, let's. It's free, but let's sell it out, as it were.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we could have so much fun.
Yeah. And then Thursday, February 26th, 7 p.m. at the Olmsted Falls branch. And that one, again, February 26th, Thursday, February 26th. So do sign up, and we'd love to have you.
Tell you what's
there.
fun about those is I love how wonderfully you present yourself and you present what you do and give a good example of all the different stories. Kudos. In fact, that your last presentation was one of the best, I think, that you've done. I also really enjoy when people come from the audience and they share their stories. Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so great to hear the experiences people have had. So
it's a little bit of a campfire right there, right there in the library. Although, I tried to ask them, hey, can we make this authentic? Could I actually start a campfire? And they said, well, this is a building with books, Jim. That's not a good idea.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Might be like that Indian family with the 15 fires. I think we want to avoid that.
Yeah. Maybe we can get one of those fake fires sometime.
I told you to get one of those fake fires ages ago. I know some of them are corny and stupid looking, but it would still be fun, I think.
Well, I'm corny and stupid looking, and
Oh, please.
So anyway.
I thought you were going to do the bump, but you didn't. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right. Well, we will talk to you next time. Have a great week, everybody. It is the Paranormal Report. So we got to say to you, stay warm, stay safe, and of course, you have to stay spooky.
Bye-bye. Have a good week.